Yo, I'm here. Something I've been trying to do for the last few days, but haven't really had the most of a chance to. Bringing my own latest branded deck profile. The Rarity Collection 2, we all got to deck ourselves out. Albaz and Ecclesia are happy surrounded by the shininess. I've also got my wicked cool Dragon Shield playmat that I think represents the story of Branded pretty well. Got the matching sleeves, double sleeve, that's a fat frickin' deck, side deck, extra deck. Here we go, I'm going to get into it for you. You will notice, as in most of my deck profiles, I do not play Branded exactly the same as every other Branded player. This is not the same cookie cutter list you will find topping events. I do really good against players that top events at a locals that's very competitive, in my opinion. I have a very competitive circuit of people that I play with. Me topping a locals is just as good as someone topping a regionals in some armpit country, you know? So let's just get into the deck and I'll explain to you and break down some of my theory and some things that I think that should be mindful of for any Branded player. 3 elbows, because I love them. Got 3 Alubers. Yes, I got 2 Alties and a QCR. I have only seen with my naked eye 2 Aluber QCRs. I've only seen in video, in person, in box openings. I've only seen these 2 QCR Alubers. So if you have not had the privilege of seeing a QCR Luber, much as I did not until I bought these, here's 2. I'm playing 1, but I'm thinking I might just go back to playing 3 alties, just for the sake of, we have all agreed, I hope, that those are actually the higher rarities for the deck. Got the 2 Cartesia, the single Quem, 2 Albions, because this is a 48 card list, I believe. I've said to other Branded players, and I will vehemently commit to it myself, since I'm saying it. If you have a 40 to 45 card Branded pile, you should play 1 Albion. If you have a 45 to 52 card pile, you should play 2. And if you have anything bigger, if you're going for 52 to 60, get your 3rd out. That's why you play 3. In this one, we're doing 2 48 cards. Rule of thumb. If you do not have a pen and paper, get one now. 40 to 45, 1. 45 to 52, 2. 52 to 60, 3. Plug those numbers into a probability calculator. They work. 1 Mercourier. 1 Tragedy, 1 Adlib. They got kind of shuffled around. We have the Dark Magician. Bestial Lubellion, a Luber evolved. Our bestial lineup in this deck is not just Sorinir, it's also Durasworm and Magnemite. We have 2 copies of DD Crow, 2 copies of Ash Blossom, and a single Gimmick Puppet Nightmare. Try and reel these in so you can get a bit better of a view of the monster pile. I'm gonna go into the spells here. This is kind of a heavier dragon lineup than I normally play. Yes, I very much considered playing Branded in High Spirits. I feel like it would be a good inclusion to this deck. I just didn't have the time to figure out what I wanted to include and what I wanted to cut, because the pile was getting pretty big. Branded Fusion, 1, 2, 3. Got a fun story about these. I've actually started to attract a bit of a crowd. They all have different texturing. Like this one don't swirl. This one does swirl. This one has a special swirl. It missed a certain number of the texture lines in a uniform pattern where it looks like tire tracks. So this is my unique tire track branded fusion, or Hot Wheels branded fusion. If you've never seen that, well, there's mine. I don't think I've ever seen another one with a texturing like that in a deck profile or in a binder. 3 branded opening, 3 fusion deployment. Thank the Lord for the upgrade. Branded lost, branded regained, called by the grave, our best friend. Branded in red. Polymerization is in this build, because sometimes poly's pretty good. This is another fusion spell, right? You have that gold sarcophagus. 3 forbidden droplet, which is very good. Very good card. 3 cross out designator, which is actually the reason as to why we have an increased bestial count. If you can't like pick up what I'm throwing down right now, we'll get into it a little later on. We got 2 imperms and our old faithful branded retribution. So I was thinking about it. When you go into, and I was actually posed a question on the branded group chat. It's like, how do you better secure your gimmick puppet line? And the thing I realized a fair amount of time ago that I don't think that a lot of people realized is that crossout is very good at that. Because you go to play this guy. What are cards people typically think to stop with it? People will typically think to stop it with this, with this, with this, or with this. And you know what? Other than the Crow, which is kind of a meta card as well right now, it's a pretty good hand trap for other decks, you can synergize with all these. A lot of decks run these. And they run Gimmick Puppet. Why are you going to run Gimmick Puppet and the cards that banish it that your opponent will play and not cross out? On your opponent's turn, no less. You see that little lightning bolt? Don't have to worry about any of these. And we'll add this little vixen to the mix. That little troublemaker. This is the rest of the deck. We'll put him there. We'll put him there because he doesn't count right now. He does not count right now. Say this. We will exclude these. and these. These are all of the cards in your deck that can threaten you that you can stop with Crossout Designator. In your deck that you play any time of the week that you wouldn't normally play these. It's 5 cards. You play branded. You can play however many cards you want. Think about it that way, you know? I'm not trying to like give people crummy advice, but I'm just saying think about it a little differently. If you're playing any deck, you can hit any of these because they probably all would play these against you, or they'd side them against you. They would use them to hit you. And if you play in the mirror, like I often do, we'll add all that to the pile. Everything. You know why I win mirror matches? Because I play Crossout. You know why I win blind going first? Because I play Crossout. You know why people at my locals are like, called by Crossout, Branded Fusion, who is this man? I am me, the guy that plays Crossout. You don't get those reactions or the possibility for them if you don't play Crossout. I'm not trying to dissuade you from playing Thrust. I may even put Thrust in my side deck for regionals, for going second, for what it's meant to do. Speaking of which, let's get into the side deck. We got 3 Super Polys. Because yeah, it's unrespawnable, but so is Droplet, and Droplet negates. The discards you do off of Droplet can be more beneficial, or the cards you send off Droplet can be more beneficial. Because you can do them with Droplet as you're activating them, and like finish the chain with Droplet. Spellbound. These 6 cards are meant for Tempais. If I'm faced against them, I immediately put these in. Spellbound. How are they going to synchro summon if they can't use any monsters that are currently on their field in the battle phase to synchro summon? They can't. It's useless. And they just attack me with all their like crummy little guys. Go to main phase 2. Then I just destroy everything or banish everything. The only issue is when you get a very highly skilled Tempai player that can smell when you're cooking something up. Like he can sense it. It's almost like he has X-ray vision and knows what's up. And makes Trident Dragion in main phase 1. Which is why you kind of got to play 3 of Cosmic Cyclone. I might even put that in the main. Just for how much I expect to see Tempais. Cyclone, honestly, I was playing against Crystal Beasts on the weekend. What a like weird deck to play against. You wouldn't expect to see Crystal Beasts even give you a challenge. The challenge isn't in Crystal Beasts themselves. It's in all the like dumb tech cards that the players like to tech in. So it's like, yeah, they got their dumb combo line with all their dumb monsters, but it's the fact that they can go into Necro Valley very freely and just shut you off. Like, I was about to quit the game. I was about to scoop until I top decked this Cosmic Cyclone. I actually peeked at it. I cheated a little bit. I was like, I'm about to just throw in the towel. This is redundant. Go to round 3. But that's like Cosmic Cyclone, top deck for win. Feather Duster. Is why stop at 1 spell and trap when you can do them all? Droll and Lockbud, because he's actually pretty cool. And I got the other 3, which are my other hand traps that I play in the main, just in different numbers. I would say Imperm is the only one that people should view not as a hand trap, because that's literally only for your opponent's first turn. Then after that, you use it to shut off a column. That's pretty dope. Or you'll use it to help you break the board. This is kind of unorganized. We got Mirror Jade in 1. Let me get into it a bit. Albion the Sanctifier in 1. We have Lubellion in 1. We have 2 Albion the Branded Dragons. We have Albalenitus, because, as I said, we're trying to deal with Tempais this format. Those guys, if you can resolve a Super Poly on that board, it's dope. It's like, no more monsters for you. Titanic Clad, because he should never go. Rinbrum, because he's shiny now. You got an upgrade. No, we got Sprint in this one. We have Sprint in this deck that I am playing right now, because Sprint is actually a very good sand. A very good send, in my opinion, off of Mirror Jade, as well as I really like his effect to just clear a column. Like, I'm a big fan of that, and the fact that you can use Sprint off of any special summon monster, no matter what, as long as it was special summon that turn, I like that shit. Like, that opens the door for a lot of Albaz plays that you can just, like, you don't need to depend on the attribute or the attack points or the level, or it's because, like, this is kind of the last one you'd send to get recursion and your engine going. You'd typically want to send Titanic Cloud or Albion or even Albalenitus. But as you've been sending those guys and getting access into Albaz, then you send Rinbrum, Albaz, anything special summoned into Sprint. I like Sprint for that. We got 2 Grand Wignols. We have Garura. We have Despia and Queritus. The Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. And Guardian Chimera. Why am I not getting the QCR? Oh, maybe one day. This is the collector rare from Maze of Memories. So, in my opinion, that is kind of a cooler one to have. I actually really like the way that this deck performed for me on the weekend. The amount of times we actually did the theory of just protect the Gimmick Puppet was actually far fewer than you would think. But in terms of assisting the actual grind game and interruptions and everything, Bestials were good for that too. You get shifted, you have really nothing you can do. They're not shifted. Dimension Gate, I think it is. Whatever that trap card is that Labyrinth likes to tech in for us. They hit you with that, at least you can get a Bestial lineup rolling, I find. This is pretty helpful. In terms of the games I had on the weekend, I had 3 wins, 1 loss, and 1 non-participation. It was not a bye. I kind of just looked at the guy before we even started playing the game. I was like, yeah, I'm just kind of like buying, selling, and trading stuff right now. I really don't want to leave all of my stuff at one table to come play with you. Even though that's kind of gauche, I heard a couple things about this player that I'm still kind of on the fence about, whether or not I believe. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, though, in that, like, just because some people say something doesn't mean you should automatically believe them. or some people's opinions or truths might be based in what they perceive as being truths. As well, I wanted to get all the shiny stuff from my deck that I wanted to play in the next couple of rounds. Take 45 minutes, have a smoke. I was out till like 5 in the morning the night previous that tournament because it was a buddy's birthday party. And the tournament started at 12, so it's like only really got like 4 hours of sleep before this thing. Kind of just showed up drunk and high. That's just how she goes. Give you some test hands here. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Draw phase, you could do it, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go standby main. Do Bestial Lubellion. No, not Lubellion. We'll do Fusion Deployment first. Try and bait the Ash. We have shown them Grand Guignol and gotten Blazing Cartesia. Cartesia, no effect right now. Now we do Bestial Lubellion. The reason I'm sequencing all of this is so that if they have Ash, we're trying to get Ash out. And we might actually chain 2 branded opening. This is not super duper optimal in some ways, but it plays around hand traps. Like some cards you want to keep, other cards kind of fill the role of resources. In terms of right now, the card we should want to discard is Regained, because we haven't even gotten into the Branded Fusion yet. We're still trying to get there. But we are now at a point where we added this card. We did our search and our special summon. Well, we can activate this as well to get our Branded Fusion. No, I did that wrong. I'm just going to bring that back. Leave that there, leave that there, leave that there. This is how you should have done that. We're still at Cartesia. We will do branded opening now, pitching this, special summoning this. We'll do that. Get this, because that's kind of more important. Then we'll do this. To get our Sorinir. We will assume that if they had Ash, Ash is fine to resolve on a Luber. This is where I was going with this. That was trying to play around hand traps is what that was. So, and the reason I sequenced that way and had to do the replay there is it was smarter to search the Aluber, do the search off him, because then if you get drolled off of that search, you still have Branded Fusion. If you do not get drolled off of that search, if they have Ash, that's fine, because you had Lubellion and you still had a way into Branded Fusion with Sorinir. You still had what you needed. So if they hit you with Ash there, Called By then becomes your discard later. Couple different ways we can sequence this next one. Everything we got is really a quick effect, so we'll do Branded Fusion first. Chain 1. Branded Fusion. Yeah, I'll do it this way. Chain 2 Sorinir. Or chain 2 Cartesia to fuse with Sorinir. Sorry. This is not secure, I realize. But it's going to be cool. We kind of play this deck to be cool. This will be all of our sands here. We have Cartesia, Albaz, we already sent, what's his name? Lubellion, that's right. So I want to send, that's another light monster. I don't want to send Quem. I don't want to send 2 Cartesias. So this is kind of that thing where you kind of got to like keep your resources in mind. So I guess we're going to do 2 Quem. You don't really want to do that? That's fine. Because I will show you why Branded is a very fun deck if you are in this position. So we'll do chain 1 the Albion, chain 2 the Grand Wignall. At this point, if we've gone off, we did not need the called by. If we did, we could have done something else entirely. So chain 2 Garura is going to send, or chain 2 Grand Wignall will send Garura. Then we will special summon our Lubellion by banishing Albaz and Bestial Sorinir. That does not make Regained live, but we don't care. That will activate chain 1, Garura chain 2. So we'll discard this. Shuffle up a little bit because I've been searching and shiznit. Empty hand, so you get your hand back. Alternative uses for fusions. New card. Hey, look at that, it's cross out. So what we will do now is we will return Albaz and Quem to the deck. We'll make Albion over here. This is half of the Stigmata. You have now created half of that play. So if you get rid of this somehow, it goes to the graveyard, opponent plays into that, then this section of his effect is live now. But I assume you don't really care about that. I banished some resources for this. We have Lubellion, though. He'll special summon himself. Albion will trigger in the end phase. Lubellion will trigger right now, though. We'll get Branded Lost. Nah, we will do Regained, actually. I will see more use out of Regained in this turn. Nah, I think I just see Mercury in my deck. We'll play Lost. Get that negate. Drop my cards. In our end phase, we have Albion here. He will trigger. He'll set. Branded in red. I guess we should have also set cross out. Full board. We do not initially have cards to discard to fuse with some of our stuff. But we will get to it. The opponent activates their turn, or starts their turn. Oh yeah, she can come back to hand too. Because we are not doing a lot of funny stuff with that. Opponent hasn't started their turn yet. Yeah, they're supposed to be in the deck. No, she will not go back. They are supposed to be back in the deck. This is kind of a crummy board I made, actually. I have Albion to target the Cartesia and the Albion in my graveyard. Cross out. Opponent would start their turn. Don't have anything to target, but we will change that. Do Albion the Sanctifier Dragon. Opponent side, 2, 4, 5, our side. Go into the main phase. Standby. Assuming they did something, we got crossed out. It probably won't because we have no actual meaningful targets. Branded Lost, though, is about to turn into a pretty good card. When we, in the main phase, do Blazing Cartesia, fuse with, we'll say, a Luber. We'll make another Grand Guignol. That'll be C1, that'll be C2. So we'll be searching. Where the heck is it now? Mercourier for the Branded Lost. That, I just remembered, is going to send I believe I have to think during my own combo video. That's going to send Quem. So, we'll target Quem with Branded in red. But we will not use her to fuse. We'll use Grand Guignol and Lube. Does Grand Guignol and Bestial Rebellion, actually. We can't even make anything off of them. Because our Garura is in the graveyard. No, wait, no, we can fuse into a Chimera. Never mind. do Mercourier and them two. Them two. And I'm trying to keep this live for anyone that's curious about keeping Albion the Sanctifier's triangle effect live. Like his extra deck, middle zones, and extra deck zones. As you can see, that's kind of a lot more maintenance than it needs to be. So we'll do him C1, him C2. This has gone away. Mercourier is searching Albion. Chimera is going to pop 2, draw 1. Draw 1. Pot this and something else. Get Albion back in our graveyard. It's coming together. This is where they say grind game is good. We will assume they destroy some stuff. Like, we'll say this. Or that we can activate this. That's even better assumption. So you know we will. Get Queritus. Queritus leaves the field. He does his thing. We'll say they like pop a lot of stuff. They pop a lot of Opolis. Alright, that's banished. We'll say they pop a lot of stuff. We still got Albaz and some newly drawn discard fodder to acquire some resources. So we will discard this. Whatever they got's probably going to make Mirror Jade. That's how you turn a crummy board into a good board. You kind of just gotta know when to play them. Yu-Gi-Oh's like the impossible game. It's all about skills, timing, and execution. And not taking like 15, 20 minutes to make a subpar board. I can see why I'm not viewed the highest. At least we're self-aware about it. Give this a half-decent shuffle. Give it a cut. See what we deal ourselves. 3, 4, 5. 2, 4, 5. And our 6th card, if we're going next, is Super Poly. Which is not the most helpful, but we can still make something. I'm going to activate him from our hand. And what we will send is a I'll just send Branded Retribution to get it out of the deck. Or what would be even better is if we just sent Fallen of Albaz. Because this might not be the coolest thing to do, but sometimes you don't really have a whole lot of cards that you can use. That's what I mean by it depends on your hands. If this card is in your hand, graveyard, it's fun. Apply the following effect based on where it was sent from. Okay. Draw. Branded Fusion. You saw me shuffle. I didn't plan that. That just happened the way it happened. Just happened the way it happened. So we have still not normal summons. I'm going to bait some Ash Blossom activity with some Bestial Magnemite. Bestial Magnemite in the end phase. Bait some hand traps. Play this Branded Fusion. So keep in mind, we still have not used our normal summon. We'll be sending Albaz. And this time, we'll be sending Despia Tragedy. Oh, did you think about that one? We're gonna go right into Lubellion. Ho ho! So Lubellion C1, Tragedy C2. What we will discard will be our crossout, since we do not have an obvious way into Gimmick Puppet or into anything else that's going to serve a purpose right now. As well, the other two cards that we have in our hand almost serve better for actually playing the game. So we'll get Aluber. We'll fuse these two back. Make Mirror Jade. So now, we'll normal summon. Activate effect. What we will get. Branded regained in our hands. Yes. We'll play Branded Regained. And we will do something a little bit sketch. I'm going to activate Mirror Jade. I'm going to send Titaniclad. There's two cards stuck together, I think. No. Send Titaniclad. We are going to banish Aluber. Use regains to return Aluber to the bottom of the deck. So yes, we have used Mirror Jade. We cannot just quick effect use him next turn. Let's see what comes of this. You will go to the bottom. We'll draw an Ash Blossom. We will set 1. We will set 2. We will have Titaniclad here do his thing. We will be retrieving, what's her name? Quam. Quam on her summon is going to send Cartesia. Magnamoot. I almost forgot about him. Is going to add to our hand Druis Worm. Or nah. Maybe not Druis Worm. Yeah, we'll do Druis Worm, because that's actually very interesting. So peek this. Opponent starts next turn. You do not have Mirror Jade to activate. That kind of blows. What are you sitting on, though? Look at all this. We will do Bestial Soraneer, Tragedy, Banish, Summon. Tragedy effect triggers. We will get Ad Libitum. We will assume that our opponent is not on Tenpai and will not just immediately kill us when they summon from the extra deck. So, Glam on something, target this, and we got this. So we could send this and this to actually negate the Synchro Summon, which is pretty cheesy in the battle phase, if we really wanted to. But we'll assume that goes off. We'll fuse this, this, and this into Chimera. Chimera will not be special summoned by a spell effect, so he will not get his pop and draw. But Bestial Druis Worm will trigger to pop, and Ad Libitum will trigger to get our Mirror Jade back for a banish. Depending on what we banish, we could do Regained. We could have done Regained on the Tragedy. We also have Druis Worm as a target for Regain to special summon back for us. Alternatively, you could have sent Magnamoot and special summon him back with Regained for a additional search. No matter what you got interactions out the wazoo there. You got your Mirror Jade back. You got Droplets, Imperms, Ash Blossoms, negate, negate, negate. Out of the gate negates. And until we did that thing with Mirror Jade to get him live again, he still had his Rodgeki. So it's not all that bad. Played some things a little sub-up, but that was how you turn a sub-up hand into a good situation, and a sub-up board off of a good hand into still a good situation. Because I don't think either of those end boards were really too much to sneeze at. And you still got away with something or other. But that was that. I didn't actually get to showcase the Gimmick Puppet defense, but whatever. Still got to see me play, still got to see the deck, and you still got to get some ideas for yourself for when you are building it yourself. Always be free to inspire. Always be free to be original. And until next time, peace out.